What's good, YouTube? What's good? Welcome into the show, Last Word Productions. Once again, I'm your host, Tavares Wilson. And if you all tuned in already, you know how it is. I always get the last word. So we got my boy Larry in the building with me right now. We should have a few more people joining up, just giving them a few more minutes. But nonetheless, got my main man here. Larry, say what's up to the people, bro.
Yo, what's good?
All right, so got a few things to talk about. There's some things I want to get into excuse me, once everyone does arrive. Like I said, we should get two, maybe three more people, depending on how the night goes. But before then, I want to go ahead and make this know. If you're not already doing so, be sure to like, follow, subscribe to the channel on all platforms, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We stream on Facebook Live, and on YouTube Live. So if you're not doing so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and hit that bell notification. Be notified whenever we do go live. Now, let's get into some of our thoughts about this past week. And this wasn't on the script, but this is something I wanted to speak in regards to, because there seems to be a lot of commotion about this, and I wanted to get everyone's opinion on this. And I'm gonna start with you, my boy, since no one else joined up right now, and plus on top of the fact, I really want to hear your answer. Like, we see the Cincinnati Bengals, right? And they're in a precarious situation, it seems like, because they have the quarterback, Joe Burrow. Like I said a couple weeks ago, if it wasn't for Joe Burrow, there goes Stairs. What's good, my boy?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. What's going on?
All right now. My bad, I'm late, but I didn't mean to interrupt. What you got about Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I was saying, like, you see Joe Burrow right now, man. He leading the league right now in passing touchdowns and yards, and I believe on the year he's completing over 68% of his passes. I believe he has a QBR top 5 in the league. All things considered, if it wasn't for the Cincinnati Bengals record, I think he'll be running with the MVP right now. I don't even think it would be close, to be honest.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. But my question is, Larry, to you is, where do the Bengals go from here, bro? Like, they're not in a situation where you're going to ask yourself, do they blow it up? Do they fire the coach? Do they let Ja'Marr Chase walk for pretty much nothing because they didn't extend him this offseason, which I've already said, by the way, that was probably the biggest mistake they ever made, ever. Because now, if the price tag was too high last season, it's damn sure going to be too high now. But with all that being said, though, Larry, what do you think they should do from here, bro? Like, what is the problem right now with with Cincinnati?
The problem, honestly, is consistency. They're not consistent throughout the game for the full 60 minutes. You can see that they could put up points, but a lot of the times it's them putting up points and losing the game, or they're already behind and making up for it. There's a lot of, how can you say, garbage touchdowns per se, like garbage points trying to make a comeback into the game. But to me, honestly, it's consistency. You got Joe Burrow, like you just said, will be running away right now with the MVP award if the Bengals record was flipped. If they were 8-4, he would be the MVP front runner. But the fact that they're 4-8, it kind of deters from the award for him, and at least because Ja'Marr Chase is going to win, more than likely Offensive Player of the Year. I feel like more than likely he is. And I think, honestly, they do have a bit of a coverage issue. Cameron Taylor-Britt has taken a very steep decline this year.
Let's not be sugarcoating that. He's trash, bro. He's trash. He's trash.
I only said that because he did look like he could be a promising number 2 corner for that squad, but like you said, he hasn't been. He's trash, basically. He's trash.
Yeah.
And I think that the cornerback position is the biggest need on the defensive side, especially when you have Trey Hendrickson leading the NFL in sacks currently. They have the pieces, but do they have the whole package? I feel like is their problem.
All right, Stiz, what you got, Stiz? What you think?
So are we? My bad. What was the question? Joe, is Joe Burrow MVP race, or is it what's the
Nah, the
Bengals?
question the question is, where do the Bengals go from here? Because again, they're not. When you look at the offensive side of the ball, bro, I mean, they're scoring. They're the only team in NFL history to score 30 plus points in 4 games and lose. Like it's where do you go from here, bro? Like what's next?
So let me do it like this to answer the question, right? The place that you go to is liquidating whatever you have on the opposite side of the ball. The only reason why I do feel garbage time points is a thing. Only reason why I'm not going to put them in that category is because they're still competing at the end of games. I think they're forced to have to put up the amount of points that they do because the defense is so trash. But then it's one of those, we know y'all not going to be able to withhold what y'all got going. So best case scenario, y'all get to 30, right? We know y'all defense is going to give up 31. You know what I'm saying? The same thing in the Steelers game. They put up 38 points. They had 2 turnovers. One went for a touchdown, and they still put up 38 points. So my thing is you liquidate whatever's on the opposite side of the ball, except for just what you said, the sack leader, right? We seen something similar. It wasn't 30 points per game. We seen something similar with Deshaun Watson his last year with the Texans. You look at his numbers and look at the numbers that Aaron Rodgers put up that year and tell me what the major difference was. But one team won 13. I think Green Bay won 13 that year, and then the Texans only won 4. Right? You know what I'm saying? So I would bring back is whatever I could on offense, whatever made sense. Right? You know, just what you said that Ja'Marr Chase about to get broke off. I don't think it's going to be a major difference. There might be a $3 or $4 million difference per year in what they would have paid him going into this season and what they're going to pay him going in the next season, right? But with the salary cap going up like $17, $18 million, it's money that you want back, especially when you got to do everything you possibly can to get something on defense. But I don't think it's really going to hinder them from doing what they're supposed to be doing. Let me ask you this, though. Is T. Higgins under contract? Is he coming up on
T gone, bro. He gone after this year.
Okay.
This was the last year. They franchise tagged him. It's over with.
Okay. My only reason why I asked is because it obviously, bro, you're not going to go get another T. Higgins, but you do need something to complement Ja'Marr Chase. And we seen what they were able to do with T. Higgins on the bench. So again, you don't need a world beater, bro. You don't need another top 5, top 10 receiver. You need somebody that's gonna move the sticks, bro. That's it.
Yeah. They could for sure find that. I mean, and how the drive's been lately, you can find receivers in the 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th round. That's not the issue. But Will, first of all, welcome in, my boy. Appreciate you coming in. What's your thoughts, bro, like on the whole Bengals situation right now?
Yeah, I definitely think they need to invest in defense heavily in this draft. I'd probably go secondary first and second. If they like 2 corners, but I think a corner and a safety. Really, linebackers probably their best overall group. But I'd probably still try to take somebody late, maybe like a 4th or 5th, somewhere around there. That's kind of mid, but and then after that, I'd probably hit another defensive lineman and maybe like the second, maybe the 3rd or 4th if they like them there too. So offensively, they're probably the best. Well, easily the most explosive offense. I feel like almost everything they do is just highlight tapes at this point. Uh, but other than O line, I really wouldn't look too much into investing in the offense. Honestly, you can probably pick up solid pieces in free agency or maybe a later pick trade to somebody. So that's pretty much my takes. But I also think that they need to maybe start looking elsewhere for a head coach. I just don't feel like he utilizes the talent they have anywhere close to the highest it can go. I feel like he he was very poor in the Super Bowl. I didn't agree with many of the decisions in that game. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay,
Okay.
let me ask you this, bro, because you mentioned going to get first 3 rounds defensive players. Are you opposed to them getting anything out of free agency is for the defense?
Oh no, of course not. But I think in the position they're in, they still have a young offense. So I feel like it would be smarter if they're confident in the secondary players to draft them young so they can grow with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. You're all in the same timeline. So it's easier to not have to replace people if they all become very good players.
Got you. I would be willing to sacrifice. I would be willing to sacrifice if I believed, like we're just what you said. First and second round, you address some defensive needs with some young players, but they have to be game ready, right? If I believe that we're going to get players that are going to hit the league now and make help us make a run, I go get them. But then I'm plugging and playing in veterans because again, if for you to say that we've been in positions all season long to have to pass the ball, and we still did it successfully. Not only that, but we were able to put up 30 points per game. I genuinely think that at the end of a game, if our defense just gets us one stop, we win.
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean that's a fair point as well. I'm definitely not against getting anybody. But that's why I said that if they believe in those picks, like if they're confident in those picks, like so I'm pretty much saying the same thing you're saying. Like if they feel like the person that they're gonna get is that good that they're gonna change their defense now, then go get them. But I'm
Facts.
definitely not opposed to making any needs. If they're confident in someone in free agency, go get that person. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not gonna wait around, or else they're gonna be in the same position as this year.
No, facts. Big facts.
All right. So how it stands right now, if the draft was tomorrow, they have the 11th pick right now. So what? I mean, listen.
They the 11th, bro.
That feels surprisingly high.
Well, it's probably so many teams within that little window, bro. They probably
Yeah, because right now they got a 3-way tiebreaker for the 4-8 record with the Saints and the Bears. Then the Jets at 3-9, the Browns, Titans, and Jets 3-9. Then you got the Jags, Raiders. They both at 2-10. Then the Panthers at 3-9 got the 3rd overall pick. Because they I forgot who they had switched positions with. I forgot, but it was something like that.
right. Okay, man.
Yeah,
It's kind of
then
weird. It kind of feels like low key a little like the dynamic is kind of like college football right now. Like there's so many top teams, and then the other teams are just so butt. Like
Facts.
yeah,
there's not a
so
lot of in between teams really.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know how much of a dynamic player they're going to get at the 11th pick, bro. I'm not saying they can't get one, but I agree with Larry, man. I think they need secondary help specifically, and they need it terribly because Geno Stone has been god awful for them since he came from Baltimore. And Cam Taylor-Britt, I personally was never a fan of. I know some people like for the last 2 years outside of this year. I
Yeah,
never
me
was too
neither.
much of a fan of Cam Taylor-Britt, but he's taking a step back as well. To me, in my personal opinion, man, the thing they need to do, I agree with Will 1,000%. I think it's time to move on from Zach Taylor, man. And this says a lot because I was a Zach Taylor guy at one point. I thought Zach Taylor was a pretty smart offensive-minded head coach, but at the end of the day, his team is undisciplined. They don't seem to prepared in a lot of these games they come into. It seems like they had to get their bearings about themselves midway through the second quarter, and that's when they finally find their footing. The defense always seems to just never be prepared. They literally cannot buy a stop, bro. It's terrible. And when you can't stop nobody in the league, at some point that's a reflection on your coach because what are y'all doing during the week to prepare for these games? Like if you can't stop a single possession, a single series to help seal a game, that's consistently. Maybe if this was 1, maybe 2 games, okay, you can overlook it somewhat. But every week, that's a coaching issue, bro. And at some point, he has to answer for it. And I think that's what the biggest issue is right now. And personally, I think they have to move on from Zach Taylor if they want to capitalize on this window of an explosive offense that they could potentially have within the next 3 years. Because
do you believe it's a defensive coordinator out there that if they were to acquire would help keep Zach Taylor's job? In other words, basically, you got a defensive issue, right? Pre-draft, you get a D coordinator, and y'all are already in talks about who y'all gonna get out of free agency, who y'all gonna get out of draft. Do you believe there's somebody out there that will help him keep his job?
No, everyone good enough to get picked up by them is going for head coach. There's literally no reason to keep Zach Taylor at this point.
I mean,
hey, remember the head coach.
The only assist that I could think of off the top that I think can possibly help is Leslie Frazier, and that's because in the last couple years, Leslie Frazier with the Bills and with the Seahawks at one point, he has helped contribute to a lot of damn good units. But I'm just not sure about the talent level on that team, and I don't think a coordinator is going to come in and fix the talent, bro. I just don't believe that. And sometimes you just need to start anew, bro. Sometimes things are just broken beyond fix, and I think that's one of these situations. Because truth be told, Zach Taylor, the offensive schemes aren't bad; they're good. I mean, they're a top 10 offensive unit in the league. I can't take that from them. But at the end of the day, you gotta be able to find coordinators to help you on both sides of the ball on all three levels, and he simply just can't do it. And at some point, he has to be able to if he's a serious head coach in this league. He just can't. So I think they have to cut these losses short while they can.
Absolutely.
But one other thing I wanted to ask before we move on to the next topic, though, Larry, I'm gonna ask you, my boy, first. How much of the blame do you think Joe Burrow should garner for these losses? Do you think it's fair to criticize him when it comes to these losses, or this is just outside of his control?
I honestly feel like when you're the quarterback of any franchise, especially a franchise that went to the Super Bowl already in the past decade or so, I feel like you're going to be met with some kind of scrutiny. Like, you could have did this better, this throw could have done better. But me personally, I would set, this is one of the few rare occasions where I would set the quarterback aside because it's really not on him. I don't feel like, I know a lot of people kind of are not Joe Burrow. You disagree?
I absolutely disagree.
Well, why do you disagree?
How many game-losing turnovers has he had? It's okay to criticize him. Yes, he has fault. I'd give him anywhere from like 40 to 60% fault of losing some of these games and the team not being as good.
40 to 60? Nah, I disagree with that.
Absolutely. As the quarterback, the person who has the ball the most, the person who literally affects the game the most, if you're making game-losing turnovers in a lot of these losing efforts, I have to put blame on you. It's okay to do that, though. Like, of course, it's not his fault he's in that position, but he got to take the blame for that.
Okay, so let me ask you this, though, right? Because you're definitely not wrong. But the pushback is, well, shit, if I go first through third, I mean, I'm damn near perfect, bro. We done put up touchdowns. We done put up yards. You get to a point in the game where I can't be perfect, right? So I can see if he was throwing these interceptions or having these fumbles very early in the game and they're having to climb their way back. But I'll never forget, it was and somebody probably remember the game. It was when Peyton Manning had just went to Denver. They played the Cowboys, right? Peyton Manning and Romo was having a fucking shootout.
Yeah. Damn sure do remember.
So, yes, bro. The interception that Romo threw, it's on Romo at the end of the day. But I don't know if y'all remember. They went back, they instant replayed it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He accidentally stepped on his lineman foot when he was trying to, step forward. Or again, Romo is to blame. The interception is on him. It goes on his resume, right? But that's what I'll be saying. Like, how long do somebody have to play perfect before they come out with the game? So, and what you just said, yes, it's on Joe Burrow, but at the same time, what if I didn't have to put up 35 points per game to win? What if I could just get away with 24, 27, right?
It don't matter what if, but you can't. And that's the point. I definitely understand. It's definitely not his fault. Like I said, it's not his fault he's in this position. and at the end of the day, it sucks. But it is your position, and I hold this bar across the league. You can ask T. I criticize any quarterback with late game turnovers. It is what it is. It's your fault at the end of the day because you are the one who was possessing the ball and turned it over.
I mean, like I say, it is a fact. I just with your 60-40 though. So you gave him the 60?
No, I said anywhere from 40 to 60%.
Okay.
That's where I'd range it. I can't put a.
I mean, I definitely understand what you. I disagree, but I definitely understand what you're saying though.
I can't fault a quarterback getting sacked 30 times, bro, on the season. Like, his O-line is horrible. At least this season, horrible. No protection. A lot of the late game situations, he's getting pressured. He has to run out of the pocket. He's coming off the blind side. Orlando, what they best left tackle was? Orlando Brown, no?
Brown, yeah, Brown.
He's been hurt.
That's fine. If
He
he's out there playing, he wanted to play, so it's no excuse. He wanted to play. If you want to play, it is now up to you to be good enough. How is that anybody's fault but the person playing?
I can't plan this on Burrow with 30 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, man.
Bro,
sacked 30 times.
That's fine.
Here's the thing for me. Here's the thing for me, right? I'm not saying Joe Burrow should be absolved of all blame because he should. Will has a very valid point. It's a very valid critique. He comes in certain situations and he's not playing his best ball. That is completely valid. But at the end of the day, man, those dudes on the other side of the ball get paid too, bro. We gotta be fair when it comes to certain criticisms. I mean, the man just won Player of the Month, bro, and he finished in the last 5 games. He's 1-4. Like we have to be fair.
That's trash, though.
We gotta be fair,
trash.
bro. We gotta be fair because at the end of the day, if Joe Burrow was 8-4 right now, like I said earlier, he will be running away with the MVP award. It wouldn't
absolutely. Absolutely, he would be. But I would still critique him on the turnovers for whatever turnovers he had to lose games. I would still do that.
For sure. But the thing is, we've seen quarterbacks make turnovers and still win games because at the end of the day, there are 21 other guys playing the sport. And right now, the 11 guys on the opposite side of the ball from him are absolutely putrid. They're pathetic. Outside of one guy, we have to be fair.
Which is crazy too, because if he's leading the league in sacks, dog, and the other team, they should be running the ball because more than likely they've been up most of the game. That's pretty difficult for him.
Exactly.
That's another thing that's been going on with them too. Their run game, their run defense is horrible.
Bro, the defense is horrible. Period.
Yeah, everything about
him.
Everything
about him. Yeah, for sure.
Henderson.
Oh, Christian Watson just fumbled. But yeah, man. So.
I get it. I'm not saying Burrow should be absolved of all blame, but my brother, 40 to 6%. I'm sorry, I can't rock with that, bro. I can't rock with that. I give you 10 to 30. I give you that, but
that's along the lines I was thinking.
That 40 to 6, we gotta get that to Zach Taylor and the defense, bro.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I was only thinking of players. I give Joe Burrow like 1%, and then I'll give the defense like 10%, and then Zach Taylor can get the rest. Like, yeah, we can go like that.
Okay, I can live with that. That's good. I live with that.
Let me change that. We can go like that. Zach Taylor, just get him out of the league, bro. Get this man out the league.
Oh man,
he can go back to offensive coordinator.
Hey, the play design be good. Right about that, though.
He can't coach a team, but he can call an offense.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree completely. Now, let's stay off into the AFC North, though, man. We got to talk about the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm not sure if y'all seen this. I'm not sure if y'all seen this stat line, but the Ravens this year have lost 22 in total, 22 points in all the games they've lost. That's the point differential in total. Justin Tucker has missed the same amount of points this season in terms of what they could have had throughout those games they've lost. So my question is, I'm gonna start with Will, because I know it's something you want to talk about. Is it time for the Ravens to not only move on from Justin Tucker, but is it time to move on from Harbaugh as well? Because he couldn't
Been
be a
waiting,
part.
man. Bro, it's absolutely time to move on from both of them.
Whoa.
John Harbaugh. Oh my God, bro, he is so terrible. I do not know why. He has not been good in like over half a decade. I can't even count the years.
Mm.
I have to go back. I do not think he
Wow.
is a good coach. I do not think he is a good coach. He has terrible game decision calls. Terrible, horrendous. I swear, every time they play us, they are somehow in position to win the game. And they do not. It's just as simple as that. It's no matter what it is, it always goes wrong. No matter what it is. That's terrible coaching. That is terrible coaching. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if it's only one team. If that one team can beat you, another team is going to find out how to, and they're going to start doing it. Simple as that. That's how teams catch on. So that's bad coaching to me. They need to move on from him.
Mm. What you got, Stitch?
Okay, so before I give my answer, what another coach comes in, are we only upset with the late game decisions?
No, I think he doesn't coach well all around. I mean, in some of these games that they're losing, Henry's not running near enough at all whatsoever.
That part I agree with, right? So, and that would fall on the head coach because you just got rid of your old offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, right? But we're saying we got to get rid of a coach that playoffs every year as long as his quarterback is healthy. He's got a 2-time MVP under his belt. They literally made a transition from a pocket passer to the most mobile quarterback we've ever seen, and continuously made playoffs. The part I agree with you with is the decision making at the end of games. But they've had a top 3 defense through 3 out of 4 years. Like I said, two-time MVP. He won Coach of the Year, if I'm not mistaken, Lamar's first full season. I say Lamar screwed it. I ain't gonna say that. I say that they lost the AFC Championship game to Kansas City because Lamar wasn't using his legs as much as we've seen him. I ain't gonna say he screwed them out of the game, but I don't see where you move on from him and you're confident in another coach to get you a Super Bowl with what you have right now. So if you move on from him, you're scrapping damn near everything except for the running back and the quarterback and Roquan Smith. Everybody else got to go there.
You really believe that is John Harbaugh making Lamar play this good? That's what you're telling me right now?
No, I'm not
No,
necessarily.
no, hold on. I'm not asking you if I think that he is the reason he's that good. I'm asking you if you think he's coaching Lamar to be that good. Lamar is that guy, bro. I always troll on Lamar. I swear to God, but Lamar is really that guy. Okay, you have the most freak athlete the league has ever seen, ever. He is the craziest thing. And you cannot simply find ways to get him star players on the outside, no matter what the circumstances are.
Well, okay, but that's what I'm saying. So that's why I say the head coach is not. It's
Hold on, bro.
because
Hold on. And when you cannot find him those players, you never can find schemes, and you can never have your team prepared to win big games. You always fall short with the most freak athlete ever.
okay,
They
so
got Derrick Henry. Hold on. They got Derrick Henry, and they are terrible on defense this year now.
That freak athlete that you're talking about, right? They praise him during the regular season because he's got this great win percentage. In the playoffs, he's got 9 total touchdowns and 9 total turnovers. So I'm not blaming that on Harbaugh, right? The fumble that Zay Flowers had, right? Like, so they've had the talent to compete. The team does underperform, and that's not always on the coach. It's not. Lamar's first game, he had 2 interceptions of the fumble or 2 fumbles in the interception. That was the Chargers game, right? In the Tennessee game, the first time they played Tennessee in the playoffs, Derrick Henry threw for a touchdown, but Lamar didn't. Like, I'm not. If you can lead the league in touchdowns in the regular season, I understand the competition levels up when you get to the playoffs. But a lot of that does fall on Lamar because his worst games, and this is not debatable, this is not my opinion, his worst games every single season are in the playoffs. They're his lowest scoring games. They're his lowest QBRs, so on and so forth. So, again, I can't always put that on Harbaugh because he put that man in a position to do great things. And during the regular season, when he's putting up all these stats and winning MVPs, it's we never hear about how bad the receivers are. But then when the team or just Lamar underperform in the playoffs, the first thing we're gonna go to is he don't have no receivers. Those are the same receivers he led the league in passing touchdowns with, right? They've gone 3 different receivers in the first round that they've gotten. I don't believe that they're that bad at drafting receivers. I don't. I'm sorry.
Hold on, wait. Let me go before I let you chime in, Larry. Let me say this. For one, I think they are that bad at drafting receivers because Marquise Brown was fucking terrible. We can say whatever we want about Hollywood Brown. All respect to the brother. He's made a hell of a career for himself. He wasn't a first-round receiver. Let's just call it what it is.
A hell of a career for himself either, though. Like he has not been that good, bro.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about from a money situation. He's made a hell of a career for himself. He's found ways to stay on teams and make millions. I give it to him. He's not a good receiver. That's one of them. Rashad Bateman was the other one. Rashad Bateman has progressed somewhat, but if he ain't hurt, he's inconsistent. So I'm good off that. My thing is when we bring up these criticisms for Lamar Jackson, right? And they're completely fair. I grilled him on my TikTok last year after the Kansas City loss. That was the worst version I ever seen of him. I'm not denying that. But at the end of the day, Todd Monken called a terrible fucking game. He called a horrible game. There's no denying that. They were the number 1 rushing team in the league going into that game, and they ran the ball 8 times. That's inexcusable. That's nothing but coaching. So I'm not blaming Lamar for poor coaching. I'll blame him for poor play any day of the week. I'm not going to degrade that. But we like, again, it's just like what I said with Joe Burrow. We have to be fair when we're talking about these situations in context. Because that same Titans game you brought up, bro, the receivers were awful that game. They had 8 total drops. They were terrible. We have to be honest. They were horrible.
So yes, they were terrible in that game, right? But
this is
a guy that we praise all regular season just to get to the playoffs. And yes, bro, there's nothing he can do about his receivers dropping the ball. He cannot literally go catch the ball for them, right? But we praise him all regular season. And just like my man said about Joe Burrow, before he had the Zach Taylor thought, right? You know what I'm saying? My man said about Joe Burrow a while ago, we have to be fair across the board. We evaluate all quarterbacks the same, right? So why do we wait till postseason to say, oh, well, that's not on Lamar? Yes, it is. It is.
I've been telling you for 3 years, Lamar never had a true number 1 receiver. I've been telling you that since I've met you. This isn't something new. I've been saying this.
So what does Lamar need to do then? He needs to carry the team come postseason. If everybody's going to praise him and say he's carrying the team in the regular season and he's the greatest thing on the turf, that's fine, bro. I want that same criticism come postseason, though. He has to be better in the postseason. Then. He has to be godlike or perfect, like we want Joe Burrow to be, right? If he's going to win these games, Lamar has to do the same in the postseason. Then.
Okay.
You actually agree with me. Everything you said, I agree with. You can ask Tavares. That's always my knock on Lamar. But he is amazing, and that's my point. John Harbaugh cannot coach him in order to get over that. That's not a great coach. Great coaches find ways to coach their players.
How do you have, as long as Lamar is healthy, you have a winning record, right? You have a top seed. You are a coach of the year. You've got, matter of fact, under your regime, you had an offensive coordinator of the year. You've got a 2-time MVP. Probably would have been 3-time MVP had they not lost as many games as they had. So I can't say he's a terrible coach or he's a bad coach. I know what terrible coaching. I'm a Cowboys fan, bro. I know what terrible coaching and bad coaching looks like, right? He's not a terrible coach. Far from it.
All right, let me say this last thing. Then I'm gonna let you go, Larry. I know you ain't chiming in yet. Let me just say this, bro. I want to make 2 key points. One, whenever we see Harbaugh in any situations against other good to great coach, he's always out coached, bro. Tomlin take his lunch every year. Bro. Let's not do this. Tomlin out coaches him every year. He's been out coached consistently by Andy Reid. Andy Reid is probably a top 5, top 3 coach all time. I understand that.
So when Lamar missed 2 passes in the back of the end zone to tie that game up,
Listen, I understand. Still, I'm not saying he's not absolved of blame. I'm not saying he's not absolved of blame. I'm not saying he's not absolved of blame. But they also had a lineman that had 7 fucking penalties in the same game. That's coaching.
Thank you.
Well, you can't say thank you because you just did the opposite for Joe Burrow. You said when the game is on the line, Joe Burrow was not performing. Lamar missed 2 wide open passes in the back of that end zone.
I literally just said I blamed Lamar for that, but
I
he
got
still was. There's still not good coaching though. There's still examples of both. Two things can't be true. I've been saying that.
What I'm saying is you can't straddle the fence with a thank you, but then say that it's John Harbaugh's fault, but it's equally Lamar's fault. It can't be, bro. Not in that situation. If you want to say overall, I get where you're teetering, but in that situation, no, that was Lamar. Lamar has had so many situations where he was to blame, and it's so easy to say, oh, we're coaching because they didn't run the ball enough. But just what you said, out of all their losses so far this season, we talking about 22 points. 22 points. So that means Lamar was in a lot of situations at the end of the game to do what? To win it. To drive the field and win the game.
Go ahead, Larry. What you got? What you got, bro?
Now, I actually was about to ask you. So, what's your stand? Do you think they should move on from Harbaugh and Justin Tucker?
Oh, for me?
Yeah,
Oh, hell yeah.
because that was the original question.
Bro, listen. If I think if the Ravens are if they are who I believe they can be, because listen, we could sit here and argue blue in the face about who's to blame for what. At the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is good enough of a quarterback to win a Super Bowl with. There is not a single doubt in my mind about that. I firmly
agree.
So what it comes down to him performing, which is again fair. That's fair criticism. He has not played his greatest games in the playoffs. I understand that completely. But it also comes down to putting him in the best precarious situations to succeed and win. Because we can sit here and talk about how he hasn't played his best ball in any of these playoff games, etc. At the end of the day, he's never been on the field and he's just been blown out the fucking water. It hasn't happened to the Ravens. They're consistently in games. Now, some of that is because of good coaching. I'm not saying Harbaugh is terrible. I don't think he's terrible. But when it comes down to key possessions and key moments, his team does tend to look like deer in the headlights. And it's not because you don't have a top quarterback on your roster. It's not because the talent is on the team. Even though I've always said for the last 4 years they need a true number one receiver, they have enough talent to where this team can be in the AFC Championship. I'm not denying any of that. But the problem is when you have to put the talent together in order to make the product, I don't think he's the chef to do it. And I think the biggest piece of that comes from him honestly being an outdated coach at this point, like how a lot of these guys is. I think that was the same problem with Fangio, what he had with the Dolphins. The man wanted to run his defense a certain way. They didn't mesh well with the younger players. The record to stand there suffer for it, even though he still produced a top 10 unit. At the end of the day, when it came down to these bigger games against these bigger opponents and these better offenses, they were terrible. Just like how I just said earlier with Harbaugh. When it comes down to going up against other great coaches, the Andy Reids of the world, the Mike Tomlins, other games against like people like Sean McVay. Who else? They got 5 losses on the year. That Raiders games was just, I don't know.
Do we have faith that Harbaugh can coach a team and win a Super Bowl? This team specifically. Are you saying that you don't have faith in him to be able to do that?
Absolutely not.
No,
okay,
I don't think
so in fairness, and these were your words verbatim. I have no doubt that Lamar can win a Super Bowl, right? John Harbaugh has
No. I said I have no doubt he is good enough to win the Super Bowl. He's more than talented enough to win.
Okay, but so here's this is what I'm saying to y'all though, right? John Harbaugh has a Super Bowl, right? Lamar Jackson, his worst performances come in the playoffs. But we're saying we're not doubting the guy that has not done it. We're not doubting the guy that has his worst performances to when it matters most to get to the Super Bowl. We're not doubting him, but we're doubting the guy that's been there and done it.
Stiggs, that was damn near 20 years ago, Stiggs.
Hold on. Can I please explain? Can I please explain real quick?
That's why I just said he's outdated. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but what I'm saying is it comes a point where
he's done it. The other guy underperforms when he's supposed to perform the best.
Can I please explain?
That's the only part that I'm not understanding.
Can I please explain?
Go ahead, Will.
Lamar has fault. Games are his fault. It's fine. He underperforms. Yes, I always say that. That is always my knock on Lamar, that he underperforms in the playoffs. That's always been my point. But Harbaugh is not a good. Well, he's good. He's a good coach. He's not a great coach because great coaches find ways to make their players their best version. That is all I'm saying.
Okay, so
Eventually, there's no way. How long has Lamar been in the league?
this is year 6
What,
or
7
7.
years?
It's
7
been-
years?
I think it's 6 years.
Okay.
So for 6 years, you still have not found a way to make him a championship player
So no matter what
with
a coach
championship
does,
talent.
so you telling me if a coach stands on the sideline and does everything perfectly, the execution of the players don't matter, is what you're saying?
No,
But what is
absolutely
he?
not.
What is he doing perfect though? Like,
No,
what
no,
do you
no,
think the strength is?
that's what I'm saying, because he can't prove his statement. He can't prove that he didn't put Lamar in the best situations to win. He can't prove that he didn't call the right plays or have the offensive coordinator or prep the week before, right? So when you say that somebody has 9 penalties, one player specifically, yes, bro, we're always going to go back to coaching. But again, we're talking about benefit of the doubt. Y'all have given Lamar benefit of the doubt, and he's abysmal come postseason compared to his cohorts. But the guy that has done it, even though it was 2 decades ago or whatever, like a decade and a half or whatever, right? We're not giving him any benefit of the doubt, no whatsoever, even though he has been proven. That's my point. So I have the evidence to say, you know what, I could be wrong, but I'm leaning towards this because of blank, right? Y'all are basically just saying that y'all feel like. That's
Absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely
it's not a fail. Time out. Wait, time out. No,
That's
that
exactly
was
what it
crazy, bro. That was
That's
crazy,
exactly
bro. I ain't
what it
gonna
is.
lie.
If
It's
I
not a
said
fail.
I got more faith in his coaching ability than Lamar's playing ability, I can go to blank, right? The Super Bowl that he won with a quarterback that played lights the fuck out, and we've never seen him do it again, right? And I can say that they had a top defense and a run game, which Lamar has been provided with, right? Multiple years in his career. But then when we go to Lamar and we say, well, again, what is your proof? Oh, but that he plays great in the regular season. Okay, but what about the postseason when it's most important? He underperforms in an alarming level, but we still have faith in him. That does not make sense. It doesn't.
Okay,
Right,
so let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. So you think they should move on from Lamar then?
No, to answer the question, I do think that they should move on from Justin Tucker, and they should have done that a week ago, right? Harbaugh is not the issue. If you
No,
get
hold
rid
on. You didn't answer my question.
no,
He said no. He said no.
because
So
the
if they shouldn't move on from Lamar, you think that Harbaugh is going to be able to coach him in order to make him good enough to be a championship player then?
is he going to step up and be good enough to be a championship player?
If he can't do it himself, he needs you to find ways to make him that player. Or else you should move on from the quarterback. That's the whole point of the system of football.
Okay, so again, what you're saying is that somebody's going to come in and get more out of Lamar than John Harbaugh has. He's made him a 2-time MVP. He turned him into a guy that was supposed to have been a running back or a receiver and led the league in touchdowns and passing touchdowns. He broke the rushing yard rate. What more can somebody get more out of Lamar that John Harbaugh has not?
So then you never think Lamar is going to be the guy to win you a Super Bowl. That's literally all you're saying right now. Because if you're gonna stick with Harbaugh, you have to feel like he's gonna be able to get Lamar to do that. That's the whole point of football, bro. I don't understand what you're asking me right now.
Because you're making it seem like if Lamar underperforms, it's immediately the coach's fault.
No. But the point of football is if a star quarterback and a top or a star coach cannot make it work together, you move on from one of them. That is literally the point of football. That's what I'm trying to say right now.
That's a fact. But you didn't put
let me ask a question. Let me interject.
Yeah, let Larry go. Larry ain't speaking in a minute. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to just ask a question, but just to answer the original question, I will move on from Justin Tucker. I won't move on from John Harbaugh. And I'm gonna be honest with it. I really feel like the Ravens won't be as successful of a team if John Harbaugh isn't the coach. Me personally, I do think that he is their best coaching chance of winning the Super Bowl in the next 5 years. I could say, because who are you really going to plug into that system and they're going to be successful?
Mike Vrabel.
I don't think so, bro. I'm sorry.
So Larry, let me ask you this.
Bro, what do y'all think John Harbaugh is, bro?
Larry, do you believe that they should move on from either one or the other in Lamar Jackson or John Harbaugh?
I don't think they should move on from either or.
Why not?
I think Lamar, especially for this team, how this team is constructed right now, is their best chance. Period. To get dubs, wins, to make it have any chance in the playoffs, I think this is Lamar's team. John Harbaugh, I have a little bit more faith, I feel like, in John Harbaugh than you three. You know, I do feel like John Harbaugh is I think he's a good coach. I'm not gonna lie. And the reason why I said that, because I was gonna ask Will, if you feel like the quarterback and the coach is not really being successful right now, how do you feel about Sean McDermott and Josh Allen, who we've seen?
Yeah, I don't like Sean McDermott. I've been said they should have moved on. So that question for me is answered. I've been said they should have moved on years ago. If you cannot make Josh Allen work, either you need to be gone or he needs to be gone. That is literally just the point of football.
Okay. I just wanted to, I just wanted to ask because I know how T feels about Sean McDermott too. So
yeah, trash. But anyway, let me say this one thing, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic, bro. My whole thing is with the Harbaugh argument and situation when it comes to Lamar in particular. Listen, you'll never hear me make excuses for $1 million quarterback, because at the end of the day, this man is making generational wealth, and his family's gonna be well off for years to come. I'm never gonna make an excuse for this man. At the end of the day, we can all agree this is a run first team and pass second. We can all agree to that. They ran the fucking ball 8 times in the biggest game of the season. If that's not coaching malpractice, I don't know what we're talking about. We can sit here and talk all day we want to about how Lamar could have played better. Absolutely, he could have played better. But you're not going to tell me Harbaugh did not call a terrible fucking game. He called a horrible game. That's coaching, bro. That's Todd Monken, the dude he brought in personally. Like, we gotta be real, bro. Like, if you want to say Lamar deserves half the blame, fine, whatever. The defense played good enough to win that game. I give them that. But don't tell me Harbaugh been out here coaching his ass off these last couple years, and he the reason why Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. I'm not hearing that shit, bro. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Nah, I don't agree with that either. I think Lamar is, Lamar. I think he's just that dynamic of a player.
So no matter where Lamar went, he'd have been a 2-time MVP.
Nope. Nah, I agree with you there, because Lamar would not be an MVP in the Cleveland Browns jersey, bro.
Thank you. So Harbaugh does have something.
That team with Nick Chubb healthy? Oh, hell.
Thank you.
Y'all tripping.
Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper.
Y'all tripping now.
So
with a healthy Nick Chubb, with that defense, and with Amari Cooper on the outside, with an actual
who is their coach, bro?
Stefanski would have took.
Stefanski? Hey, man.
Yeah, he's literally
man.
He's just coach is John Harbaugh.
Thank you.
So
you're not gonna tell me. You're not gonna tell me.
With a nigga that was eating ice cream on his couch last season.
You're not telling me Stefanski. All right.
No, go ahead, bro. Okay, so
real quick. Go ahead.
No, so the Cleveland Browns are the absolute worst organization when it comes to quarterback in the history of the NFL. But we're just going to say that Lamar is so great that he would have been the one to turn the organization around. That's bullshit, and y'all know it. It's bullshit, and y'all know it.
No, it's
what quarterback has ever been that good when they went to the Browns?
You just proved my point. So whether they were drafted, whether they were traded for, so on and so forth, the Browns have been the worst organization at that position. But we're saying that
no quarterback has been Lamar, is what I'm saying.
Time out. Time out. Baker Mayfield came in and won a playoff game, right?
Thank you.
That man is awesome.
Happened, right?
Thank you.
And y'all telling me Lamar couldn't?
Wait.
Bro, this is what I'm be talking about, bro.
Wait, hold on. Baker did win a playoff game, but he played a super aged Ben Roethlisberger. Okay.
They played a team that started the year 8-0, bro. Stop.
11. They started 11 though,
Man,
and he threw
No,
5 picks in that game.
it wasn't 11
He threw 5 picks in that game. So yeah, I believe Lamar.
Bro, the first play of the game was a box snap, bro. You not finna, man. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, that
Larry,
game was horrendous.
At the end of the day, we can all sit here and agree Lamar Jackson is twice the quarterback Baker Mayfield is.
Lamar
And
Jackson
you-
would not be in the league if he started with the Cleveland Browns.
And you're telling me he's
And
not.
yo,
having
Lamar would have
and
beat that
making them
Chiefs
better?
team for sure.
No,
He
I
would
don't
be
think
he would
so.
be Justin Fields. I apologize. He'd be in the league. He'd be Justin Fields if he started with the Cleveland Browns.
Man, get the
Yeah, you're
fuck out of
crazy
here.
as hell. Yeah, you're crazy as hell.
I wouldn't say he'll be Justin Fields, but I don't think
It's almost
I don't
like you
think he would have
literally
been
don't watch
successful
him
in
play.
Cleveland.
What are we
I don't
talking
think-
not
about?
watching play.
Justin
I don't think he
Fields,
would have been
Not watching
successful
play.
in Cleveland, bro.
bro, he would have went to an offensive minded coach. On top of the fact of having a top 3 running back in the league at the time, on top of the fact of having a top 5 offensive line. What are we talking about?
Thank you.
Are we dead ass?
We're talking about gassing somebody who underperforms in the postseason. That's what we're talking about.
No, we're talking about.
I'm talking about implementing him into an organization who's been notoriously bad at quarterback.
Who?
The Cleveland Browns.
Right.
Oh, the Browns. Listen,
They haven't
bro,
had a Lamar.
I'm not denying.
That's true.
any
No,
of that.
Will, I agree with that, Will. I agree with that. They ain't have no Lamar Jackson type talent. Yeah, I agree.
They be done. But I get what y'all saying. But like I say, I just there's in a world of woulda, coulda, shoulda, I know what is, and he is an
Go play
underperformer.
golf.
Hey, we'll agree to disagree. But let's move on to the next topic, though. Next topic we got. Hold on, let me pull it up. So next topic we got the Al Shahir hit against Trevor Lawrence. As you all are probably aware, he was suspended for 3 games, and
Oh,
Trevor
I
Lawrence.
didn't know that.
Yeah, he got suspended, but he got suspended for 3 games, and Trevor Lawrence is on short-term IR. He'll miss at least 4 games. So my question to y'all, and I'm gonna start with you, Larry. Do you think the suspension was the right move, and do you think it should have been more, or he shouldn't have been suspended at all?
I think the suspension is quite hefty, to be honest. 3 games, and you see my reaction didn't tell anything. I think 3 games is kind of crazy. Now, do I think in game was that hit bad? Yes, I do. I think that was a bad hit, bro. I'm sorry. Because we all know this is not 2000, 2001, 2002 anymore, bro. Like, it's let's just be real. We've been watching football. I could tell from how you guys talk about football, how passionate y'all about football. Y'all been watching it a very long time. This is not the Ray Lewis era of football. You can't just pull up on the quarterback and hit him as he's about to slide. Did Trevor Lawrence slide late to try to get the first down? Sure. But we know Trevor Lawrence is not running through Al Shahir, whatever main man name is, bro. He's not doing that. Let's be real. Al Shahir could have pulled off. Even when he saw that Trevor Lawrence was about to slide, he could have pulled off and alleviated some of that pressure from the hit, bro. I feel like it was, honestly, I feel like he was trying to get the starting quarterback out of the game.
So you think it was a dirty hit then?
Yeah. Look, man, I'm going to be honest. I played football. And I know I'm about to go in and say something crazy, but there was a game where we did target the best player on the team. And that's just keeping it real.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real.
I think 3 games is fair, bro, because and at first I thought it was a little steep, but then I seen a compilation of him doing goofy ass shit like that in other games. I mean, we talking about a guy is 4 or 5 feet out of bounds, and you come flying off of the dance.
Oh, yeah, you talking about the Caleb Williams hit?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think I don't think it was we just suspending you because of this unlawful hit, right? I think it was you've had a couple of these, and if I'm not mistaken,
A repeat offender type situation.
You said what?
Yeah.
I said a repeat offender type situation.
Yeah, bro. Because I think they said they fined him like 11,400. You know what I'm saying, for the Caleb Williams hit. There was a hit that he was fined.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was the same hit from this year, but he had been fined before in his career for late hit and stuff. So when you get a compilation on Twitter, bro, you 4 or 5 hits deep, and then you get this one, which was egregious, dog. Like, yeah, 3 games is a slap on the wrist if we're being honest.
Okay. What you got? What you got, Will?
Hold on a second.
Go ahead, T.
All right, so me personally, I think the 3 games is fair. I'm honestly surprised it wasn't for the rest of the regular season, because I agree with y'all, man. I think it was a little outrageous, to be frank about it, and to be honest, man. I know he issued an apology and stuff like that, saying that people don't know the man he is, and all the good stuff to cover up for the PR team. I get it, but I'm not fooled by that shit, bro. I know when somebody trying to save face, bro. He genuinely did not care in that moment, and maybe he was more level headed as he thought about it after the fact. But nah, bro, I'm not buying the fact that he genuinely felt sincerely sorry for what he did to Trevor Lawrence. I'm not buying that. Because I forgot, it was one part of the apology. He was like, he understood why his teammates did what he did for him. Bro, you out there trying to hit about it and you arguing with fans, bro. Like, come on, let's be real here. Like, if you don't stand on it, stand on it. I appreciate him being man enough to realize that this was wrong of me and maybe I should issue an apology. But nah, I do think they needed to make an example out of Al Shahir, because like Stig said, he is a repeated offender, and it's getting a little out of hand. But you ready, Will?
I didn't agree at first because like he said, I didn't know his history, but I started seeing videos and compilations and stuff, and it's like, oof, yeah. Just like you said, I'm surprised he didn't go for the rest of the season. The 3 games I feel is light, because at the end he could have really did damage to Trevor Lawrence with that hit. So
I think if it wasn't, I mean, it was obvious concussion, bro. The arms locked, you know what I'm saying? All like, so if it wasn't an obvious concussion, y'all think he still gets suspended 3 games?
Yes, I think so.
I think so. And the reason I think he'll still get suspended is because, for one, they've made it a known fact that they're trying to protect offensive players. So if you're out there purposely creating late hits or targeting like potential plays, I think plays like that continuously get goes by without being unnoticed or penalized. I think players will start complaining. I think people will start speaking up and saying stuff about it. We're in the day and age of social media. People find and do things all the time to make something look bad. So I think the NFL had to save face pretty much, regardless of how Trevor Lawrence reacted to the situation.
But the only reason why I ask is because, okay, so what is concussion protocol? I know it's not mandatory that you miss a game, but how many days before do they evaluate to clear you for the game?
It's dependent on the player. Some players can come back as quick as 3 days. Some they'll miss a game. It really depends on the medical staff and the player, honestly. That's all it comes down to.
So I know Tua had a history with it before he missed. How many games did he officially miss this season?
4.
This season? Yeah, 4.
Okay. But do we know in ballpark it, or get as close as you can, how many has he missed total in his career because of concussion?
Probably
like 9,
7,
10.
8. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay, maybe. Okay, all right. Yeah, I after seeing that compilation, bro, I just knew it was gonna be worse than 3 games for sure.
Yeah, I think he did get lucky. I ain't gonna lie, because I ain't gonna lie, boy. That I'm surprised. To be honest with you, I'm surprised he didn't get suspended after that Caleb Williams hit, man, because that was clearly a fucking late hit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm talking about Caleb Williams was like you said, Caleb Williams like 4-5 yards out of bounds, giving it up on the play. He's stopping momentum, and Al Shahir coming to clean his shit. I'm like, what the hell?
Hey, yo, bro. At this point, bro done lost his mind, but I think 3 games suspension, especially if bro ain't getting paid, which I don't think he's supposed to if the NFL suspends you. But if bro ain't getting paid, then bro, I definitely say he stopped that shit.
Yeah, for sure. But anything else I want to add before we move on, Larry Will?
No, sir.
Nah, man, you go ahead, bro.
All right, so let's get into something I want to talk about. I want to hear y'all opinions on this. I'm gonna start with you first, Stitch. Who you think right now is the best team in the NFC between the Lions and the Eagles?
I'm gonna go Detroit.
I know you're a Cowboy guy.
Wait, yeah, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna be fair, bro. I'm gonna go Detroit because I'll be actually watching Philly. So I got 3 uncles that's a Philly fan, my sister a Philly fan, and I got like 4 close friends that's Philly fans, bro. So I have no choice but to watch their games regardless. But I've seen Philly do this year before. You know what I'm saying? So it might be a little biased if somebody held a gun to my head and I could say that there's a tie, like I would say tie, bro. But I'm gonna go with Detroit. Campbell is getting a Jared Goff that we always felt like we were capable of seeing, but he would always find some way. That 5-pick game, I thought, all right, we're trending back towards the real Jared Goff type shit, right? You lost your best defensive player, and y'all still holding up. You have redefined the word trick play, right? You putting linemen in to catch passes. Shout out to all the trick plays that they tried against Dallas. I thought it was just us. I thought they had a vendetta, and then they've done it twice since then, right? So I'm gonna go with Detroit. I think they've been the more consistent team from ending the regular season last year through the playoffs all the way up until now. If for Philly, bro, it just seemed like, and again, it might be because I watched them too closely, but I really be waiting on them to have we fucked up again game, or is this where we start slot like last year? But they started off real hot, and I think they got to like week 11 or 12 and lost 4 straight. One to Dallas, which they should not have, but they lost like 4 straight, and that was their backheel ski. But I'm gonna go Detroit as of right now, bro.
Can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You got it.
Okay, so I want to bring this up now. See, this is my point. Great coaches get the best out of their great players. Why can Harbaugh not elevate Lamar to do this? This is my whole point. This is why Dan Campbell is a
To
great
answer your
coach.
question, we got
hold
to
on.
see Goff with two. We got to see Goff with 2 different coaches. He went to a Super Bowl with one, and NFC Championship with the other. So I'm just saying, bro.
But that's my point. That's my point, though. McVay was a great coach that year, was he not? Was that not a great season?
That
All right,
was
think
a great
he did.
season.
so Joe Flacco had a great season because of John Harbaugh too. So he's a great coach.
You can say that, but he's not a great coach now, and he hasn't been. That's my whole point.
That's your opinion, but you can't prove that. That's been my whole point.
That's fine. So I think the Lions personally, because I do believe the defense is gonna start getting healthy soon, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like their offense is good enough to carry them until their defense gets healthy for the playoffs. So I like them.
Okay. Who you got, Larry?
I think from just an overall standpoint and shit, the game being on right now, man, Detroit looks damn good, bro. From the O-line play to both running backs, from the defense, even though the secondary is the most penalized secondary from a pass interference standpoint. And I know you're not the biggest fan of him, but man, Jared Goff has been pretty good this season. So
Man, don't
just
tell me
from has he not, bro? You can't see at some point you gotta be honest, bro. At some point you have to be honest, bro. I know you don't like the guy, but you gotta be honest, bro.
I never said Jared Goff was bad. I think he's okay. I think he's a solid quarterback. But where people lose me is when they start telling me he top 8, top 10. That
you said you don't understand why people is on the Jared Goff train. That's why I'm assuming that you don't like the guy.
Because people are telling me he's an MVP favorite. I'm not hearing that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not hearing that, bro. I'm not hearing that. I just can't. I turn the games on. I watch Jared Goff. I watch the film. I don't see MVP. I see a dude that's playing in a great system he's making great plays. I'm not gonna take that from him. But when you got a 2-headed monster in the literal Knuckles and Sonic tandem that they just renamed in the league, when you got all-pro receiver you throwing the ball to, when you got 2 first-round picks you throwing the ball to, and Sam Laporte at Jamison Williams, when you got a defense that's top 10 in the league and top 3, they are top 5 scoring defense, bro. It's like you're giving a feast to a starving child and you telling them to eat. Like, of course they're going to eat, bro. Like, it's there to be had. I'm not saying it's an excuse. What I'm saying is it's a reason why Sean McVay felt like, despite the fact that we made a Super Bowl with this guy, I know he's not good enough to win with. Despite all of that, They still moved on from him.
Why
And
it can't be the case that he just upgraded that quarterback
He definitely did.
and Matthew Stafford?
Yeah, of course, that could be the case too. But at the end of the day, it's still telling that I made a Super Bowl with the guy. The ultimate goal is to make the Super Bowl and win it. That's what it is. They did half the job, and he said it's not fucking good enough, and he moved on. I'm just saying that's telling. That's telling them.
That's what I said.
To me.
Okay, so let me ask you this, bro. If McVay felt like he needed to move on, why did another great coach in Dan Campbell feel like he could get it done with Jared Goff then?
Here's the thing about it, right? For one, I don't think anyone expected Jared Goff to be what he is right now. I'm not saying that he's playing otherworldly per se, because again, I don't believe that. But he's playing more than well enough to win games more often than not. That I can give him any day of the week. But the reason that Dan Campbell went out and got a guy in Jared Goff is because of his mentality, simply put. He is a guy that believes he's one of these. He's not an offensive guru, defensive guru. He's one of these motivational a leader amongst men kind of dudes. He's going to take a guy and be like, I believe in you to get the job done. So go show them you can do that. He clearly has his players' best interests at heart, and they reciprocate that to him. That's why I think he went out and got a guy like Jared Goff, because he's willing to bet on the guys who others aren't willing to bet on, because that's who he was as a player and a coach. I think he's one of the few coaches in the league, and I give him credit for this. He is one of the few coaches in the league whose team literally reflects off of him. You can tell they play with the same grit and energy he has. And that's one thing I give him and respect about it. So to answer the question, I think that's why he went and got Goff. I think he knew he was playing with a chip on the shoulder. He was willing to bet on it, on top of the fact that he wanted to give him that, I guess, that kind of next level of edge to put him over the top per se. So I think that's what it came down to. I don't think necessarily because he knew he was that good.
Did he ever speak on Stafford when he left, bro?
He probably did, but not that I'm aware of.
No, I genuinely did not know, bro. I was just curious.
No, I don't know either.
So wait, my bad. So you have Detroit, Philly or Detroit? My bad.
No, I got Philly, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. The reason being, I got Philly. For one, let me make one point clear. It's not because Nick Sirianni. I think Nick Sirianni is a fucking terrible coach. I'm gonna just call it what it is. I think it's terrible, but I think Philly right now, the way that they can control the chains right now and the injuries that I know Will was saying that they coming back from injuries. They got some defensive players. I don't know how fresh those guys gonna be come January and February football with late December, January football. I'm not sure about that. They got to get their bearings about them again. Listen, bro, I said this to Larry. I said this in the group we in on Facebook. I think Saquon Barkley is one of the best I've ever seen ever fucking do it. And I think he's the difference maker in the game, bro. Like, going up against that defense with that offensive line, with that running back, it's a tough out for any team in the league, dog. And I think it's going to come down. If these teams hypothetically were to meet in the postseason and it came down to them two, dog, I mean, me personally, I'm sorry. If I got to make the choice between Jared Goff or Jalen Hurts making plays down the stretch, I'm taking Jalen Hurts. That's just how I feel about it. Like, I think once you get to the X's and O's, they pretty much an evenly matched team. The difference makers to me is the running back and the quarterback. That's the difference to me.
What about the coaches?
I think Dan Campbell's a better coach for sure. The thing is, though, his downfall and the reason why I'm hesitant to believe in him like someone like Quincy is and say he's the best coach and all this other stuff, his late game sporadic thinking, it's a double-edged sword, bro. Like, it could either be a hell of a damn idea and it works, or be the dumbest thing you ever see on the football field. Like, it's one or the other with him. And as bad as I believe Nick Sirianni is, one thing he knows about his team is when something's working, just stick to it. That, like, he understands that. And in some way that's good coaching. even though that's Pop Warner level. But anyway, that's just what it is. You stick to what's working. It's just like basketball. You stick with the hot hand. So I got to give him that. I think Dan Campbell sometimes, I think he try to outsmart himself a little too much. So I think that's what it's going to come down to, though.
I think after Philly's defense kind of came along, I think I would say I would edge them to be the slightly more overall talented team. But kind of what you were saying about Campbell a while ago, right? I think they're going to fight harder. You know what I'm saying? So in the trenches, ball in the air, type shit. I think that they're just going to, if they meet up in the postseason, I think they're going to fight harder. I will say this, though. Depending on who ends up with the number 1 seed, I think makes a difference. I think if they play in Detroit, I don't give Philly a chance in hell. I don't care if Detroit wins by 1 on a last-second Hail Mary or something. I don't think Philly has a chance if they play in Detroit, bro. Because it's going to be NFC Championship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
T, let me ask you. I know how much you feel about Saquon shit. Both of us, we big Saquon fans. But do you take Saquon alone, running back room wise, over David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Really?
And the reason being is because me, and this is just me, I take the superstar over any other committee that I ever have. That's just me personally. Like, if you were to ask me the same question, you would be like, would you rather Jamar Chase or would you rather who got a good receiver doing the league right now? Or would you rather Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle right now? Would I rather those two or Jamar Chase? As it stands right now, I'm taking Jamar Chase, bro. Like that's just how I feel about it. I'm taking the superstar over any great or good group of committee you giving me because you can't. To me, in my personal opinion, you cannot coach difference makers, bro. You can't coach it. Like Jamar Chase or like in this specific scenario, Saquon Barkley, dog, like it's just certain things he does on the field that I just don't see out of Jahmyr Gibbs and for damn sure not David Montgomery. Like it's just certain things he can do with the ball in his hand that other people cannot do. And we're talking about a guy who is an every down back. He can pass block well, catch the ball out the backfield extremely well, line up on the outside for you, and runs in between tackles just as good as any running back in the league. So being the fact there's no weaknesses to his game, and he could play all 50, 40 plays, whatever the case may be, yeah, I'm taking the better. If it came down to a one-game choice, like how, like you feel me, you got to take this room or him, I'm taking him, bro. I'm taking Saquon.
I feel that, but don't you think production kind of ties into a dual running back situation versus it just being Saquon? Because he doesn't have necessarily a second back to fall back on. Like say if David Montgomery comes out, he fumbles twice, you throw Jahmyr Gibbs and then he goes for 140. Does Saquon have that kind of support in the running back room? You feel like I'm going back to the original question of Detroit and Philly. That's kind of why I give Detroit the edge, because they kind of do have a lot of guys who could come in and fill in roles. Not saying that they coming in with the same production, but you got let's do Sam Laporta, for example. He's having, quote unquote, a down year from his rookie season. He's still producing in a touchdown scenario, but you could kind of throw Brock Wright in that same situation and get the same production, Like Detroit has the star power and the depth to match as a team, and I think that kind of shows why they only have one loss in the season. So I don't think Philly necessarily has that. If they lose one of those receivers, the passing game, I feel like it's.
Yeah, because I will say when AJ went down, matter of fact,
when Devontae Smith went down against the Saints, we saw the hiccups in Philly's offense. And then Saquon, of course, being Saquon, but being the player that he is, he put the team on his back, which I'm throwing out there as a compliment to Saquon too. So
I was about to say we got to remember how the game ended. Now I think he.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to, just see your point with the running back room, because that's just like Steve said. At the end of the day, and you pointed to it as well, the quarterback and the running back room kind of is the difference makers between these two teams. And that's honestly why I give Detroit the edge, because they have two great running backs. With a quarterback, like you just said, it's very comfortable to run the show. Like a starving kid with a grand feast, he's gonna eat. So that's why I give Detroit the slight edge. But I do think Philly is right there, right next to Detroit.
I just wanted to read one stat for y'all real quick, man.
For sure.
They say the most rush yards in the NFL before tonight's game. Saquon Barkley, 1499, 1407 Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, 987. Saquon Barkley again just in the second half, 982. I mean, I'm saying, bro, like, it's certain things you just can't coach, dog. Like, phenoms, phenomenal players, that you either got it or you don't. And I'm taking a phenomenal player. Like, that's just how I see it, man.
That's a very fair argument, bro.
Okay, in the situation that you gave a while ago, and I mean, this ain't really got it. It's not talking about Detroit and Philly. The situation that you gave a while ago, though, you said you taking the star. Tyreek in itself is a star too. So I get what you know what I'm saying. You said, oh well. I mean, so yeah, if we only talking about this year, but in fairness, bro, his quarterback did miss 4 games. You know what I'm saying. I don't anticipate him to look the same because I can't say that because when Joe Burrow went down, Jamar Chase.
I'm about to say when Joe Burrow went down.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
That boy Chase.
That's what great players do.
That's a fact, bro.
Hell yeah. That's what Julio used to do. That's what AB used to do. That's what
That's Mike Evans, bro.
Yeah.
Mike Evans is a dog too. I heard him.
He finna have his first season where he don't hit 1,000, bro, and I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it for him. He a Hall of Fame at the end of the day. But
nah, thanks.
We're gonna move on to the next topic though. This one's interesting. Who y'all think the biggest disappointments this season? The biggest disappointment. Who you got, Will?
Everybody better have the same answer, bro.
You hear Will? I don't think he does.
Can you hear me, bro? Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
I said the Ravens. Yes, sir.
Is it because they are division rivals, or
it absolutely is?
Okay. I can respect the honesty. I
just feel like the hype was way crazy, but overall they're not really my biggest letdowns. I think my biggest letdowns, to be honest, are the Bengals. Just because of all the talent they have, I feel like they should have won much more, probably three more games this year at least. I just feel like the coaching really let them down, and it's disappointing how terrible it's been for them. So that's who I got.
Okay, who you got, Larry?
I don't want to, say my team, but I do want to throw out there that they were my first choice. But I'm going to go San Francisco 49ers. And I'd say the San Francisco 49ers because this was a team who, with the Kyle Shanahan offensive genius, master plan, could work with anyone. We've seen that they are very human this year. Noted that they do have a lot of injuries. They did miss Brock Purdy some games. George Kittle's been banged up this year. Nick Bosa been out, and of course the star player Christian McCaffrey. But this is still and Trent Williams as well. This is still a well-constructed team, and this is a team in a division that is being led by a 7-5 team right now. So I think San Francisco is the biggest disappointment from the success that they have been having the past couple of years. To come out here and lose to teams that are pretty, for San Francisco's sake, these are teams that they're supposed to be beating. Now, the snow game with Buffalo, that's a whole different story. That's different. But teams like LA, Seattle, those are teams that they typically have been beaten, even though they are division foes. they typically have been coming away with those games, but to have 7 losses, I don't know, man. I think that's the biggest disappointment so far this season.
All right, who you got, Steve?
I am surprised that so far we're gonna have 3 different answers. I do get both teams, right? The Bengals probably should have been my answer, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, if you that bad on defense, dog. I'm going with the Jets. If you can win 7 games with Zach Wilson, right? You come back healthy, Aaron Rodgers healthy, and you upgrade, you get a Devontae Adams. There's absolutely no excuse. But they 1-4 since he got there, or 1-5 since he got there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So there's absolutely no reason. I mean, you had a star-studded defense, and you got Breece Hall at running back, right? You had, I'll say weapons. I don't want to call them. They weren't world beaters at receiver, but they definitely had weapons. If they showed up for Zach Wilson, bro, why wouldn't they show? If Zach Wilson was able to get them to produce, right? Aaron Rodgers had no excuse. So the Jets should have been a team that we were seeing was contending to play in the AFC Championship. But they're contending to be one of the worst teams in the league, and it's ridiculous. They've got all the teams that we've named, bro. We've looked around the field and we've named a lot of talent. They're amongst some of the most talented teams in the league, and it does not show whatsoever.
I definitely agree with that. The receivers don't want to play with Aaron Rodgers, bro. He's a diva. The way he be talking about them and shit, like there's no motivation to play.
Bro, he's not a leader.
No, he's not.
I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan, right? But I also I know what I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? So he has been abysmal for most of the season. He's had maybe 1 or 2 good games, and then him not showing up right during the offseason to do anything, more or less all the way up into the preseason. I think that set the tone for the team as a whole. And just what you said, nobody was wanting to perform well with him on the field. They really didn't give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
I told T they were gonna be garbage this year. He didn't want to listen to me. Just throwing that out there.
You might have understated it, fam. Like,
Hey man, listen, man, ain't no secret, man. Rogers, my guy, man. Of course, I'm a Batman nigga, man. What we talking about? Of course. What are we talking about? That's my guy. But no, I gotta agree with Stiz, man. As much as it pains me to say, dog, like, listen, y'all know me, man. Y'all know Rodgers my GOAT. I think Rodgers is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen play football. I've said that multiple times on multiple platforms. But this is 1,000% at his feet, on his lawn and his grass, whatever the hell you want to say. He has been fucking terrible this year. And it kills me to say that, bro, because listen, Larry, you know, like, that's my guy, bro. I love Aaron Rodgers, bro. But this on him, bro. Like, it's no excuse, dog. Like, I get it. The coaching is bad. Not denying any of that. You're Aaron Rodgers, bro. You are a multiple-time season vet, multiple-time MVP. You don't sit here and give me the coach excuse for pretty much his own coach on the field. Don't give me that shit. Go out and fix it. You were brought there to do that. And he can't do it. In fact, it's worse. So it got to be the Jets, dog. It got to be the Jets. And he's still my GOAT. I don't care about this year. This is a throwaway. Yeah. It's a throwaway year for me. I ain't gonna lie. We'll scrap this shit off wiki. But let's get into the next topic though. This one interesting because I want to hear some of y'all answers, and Will alluded to one earlier. But what coaches changes do y'all foresee coming this offseason? And if you had to pick someone in particular, go to a situation, who you picking? I'm gonna start with you, Larry. Who you think getting fired? And if you want to answer the second part, you can.
Who I think getting fired?
Yeah, the second part, if you want to answer, is what coach can you see going where?
Ooh, yes, sir. That's a really good question. I think what's my man name? The Jaguars coach. I think that's over with. Yeah, I think that's over with. I think that little fairy tale that they thought they could construct with Doug Peterson is over with. It just showed that it's not going to work. point blank and simple. But I'm really actually interested in answering the second question. I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to get another job, bro.
Mm.
And I think that job is going to be the New Orleans Saints. I
Mm.
think that with that offense, he would be able to make something shake. Honestly speaking, and I was prepared to answer this question since I was talking about it at work. Actually, I said this earlier at work that the Saints, I feel like, is a team who is another disappointing team, even though many didn't have them going to the playoffs. I just didn't see them having only 4 wins at this point in the season. I do think that the offense is good enough that if an offensive mind comes in there and gets a quarterback that he likes, that they could do something seriously. I seriously think that. I think they do still have, even though they are vet pieces, I still think they do have pieces over there on the defensive side of the ball as well to really compete in the league, especially in a division that is so weak. I think Cliff Kingsbury could go over there and in New Orleans and do a fine job over there, especially with what he's doing with Jaden Daniels. I don't think Kingsbury is going to be an OC next year.
Okay. What you guys did?
Mike McCarthy is gone, bro.
Of course, the Cowboys fans talk about the Cowboys. I like it.
No hesitation too. He already knew what he was gonna say.
I'm gonna be fair to Mike. He's not a bad coach, right? You can't have 3 consecutive 12-win seasons and be a bad coach. But I do not think that he is. I don't think he's capable of coaching up, right? So I think that he'll always be at the level of his competition or worse when it comes to putting the X's and O's together during the game. I don't know who comes in for us, right? To be completely honest, any coach that leaves, what he just said about Cliff Kingsbury was actually 99%, bro. Like, I would have to agree, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, but any coach that leaves a situation, I don't know who gets plugged in afterwards because there are so many available coaches, right? But they're going to be first-time head coaches, or maybe in a situation that you said earlier, like a Mike Vrabel, Cliff Kingsbury, and there may be one other one. I think that somebody like Mike McCarthy gets walked out in a manner that I don't think anybody's looking for him to be the head coach of their organization, bro. So we missed our opportunity for Dan Quinn. I'm not even saying that would have necessarily been an upgrade the way he fucked us out of that playoff game, running that defensive scheme that he did against Green Bay. But Mike McCarthy is gone for sure. I want to say that he's the only one. I'll say I'm more confident in him being gone than any other head coach in the league right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't see how you bring him back. What do you say? I mean, we're talking about Jerry Jones, right? Even if you're Jerry Jones, what the hell could you possibly say to bring him back that justifies it?
Okay. What you got, Will?
It's funny. I got like a split answer. I think Mike McCarthy's going for sure. And I don't know. Nah, probably not. Just Mike McCarthy. I ain't gonna go that far.
Nah, say what you was gonna say, bro.
But I was gonna talk shit about the Ravens, you know.
I know.
But I think Ben Johnson might go over there.
To Dallas?
Yeah.
He's definitely going to be a very sought after coach for a head coach.
He was talked about last year.
I'm gonna say this
by a lot of people.
If anybody else offers him a job, he's probably going over there. But I just, as if somebody's wanting to be a head coach, I don't see why, other than I guess the notoriety and you're gonna be on national TV every single game. I don't see why you would say you would want that damn job, bro. I don't get it. I don't. And then if you say, okay, well, I'm gonna be here for a decade, right? Maybe I'm not wishing ill on nobody. But maybe you seeing Jerry will eventually step down before then, or maybe, some unfortunate circumstances, he's deceased or whatever. Steven is panning
because I was thinking that.
Steven is panning out to be the same guy, bro. Like, Steven was on a different trajectory at first, but he's turning into his part, bro. So you're going to deal with the same thing best case scenario, Jerry's no longer GM. He's just owner. We don't get to see him no more. We're going to have to deal with Steven, and he's going to be the same thing all over again. So I don't see why anybody would want that job.
Goff just threw a terrible pick.
I mean, that's fair.
No, but I'm saying, but glory to Ben though. Like if the job becomes available, I can definitely see why they would want him. I'm just saying I don't see why he would want us.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
Man, Jared Goff threw a terrible pick. Man, crazy.
Well, I knew he was gonna say something about it, bro.
I'm just saying, man.
No, they in there talking about here go to refs.
That's real crazy. But
who you got, T?
Let me. I think I gotta disagree with you, Stiggs, on McCarthy being the most obvious out the door. I gotta agree with Larry, man. I think Doug Peterson has clearly outstayed his welcome in Jacksonville. I think that shit is done.
Should have been done after last year.
I mean, bro, listen, this is a 2-win team, bro. They don't have the injury excuse. They don't have the excuse of we don't have talent. They got plenty of talent. Plenty. They went out and got a whole new secondary with my boy from the 40, Solomon Thomas, my bad. Solomon Thomas. They went out and got Solomon Thomas. Went out and got a whole new secondary to try to prove this defense. You got Josh Hines on the Trayvon Walker, both double-digit sacks on the year.
I thought Solomon Thomas was on the Jets.
Solomon Thomas is on the Jets. Who they just got from the Niners? The DN. I mean, defensive tackle.
Eric Armstead.
I always get them two confused. I don't know why. Eric Armstead. But it's clearly Doug Peterson, in my opinion, dog. And the coaching vacancy, I think that's going to be filled. I think Mike Vrabel is going to find his way on either the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Cincinnati Bengals, because the reason why I think he fits what they need is because they clearly need a coach that does not accept BS and someone who is above the X's and O's and just being an analytic guy, whatever the case may be. Someone who's just going to get the best version of his team out of them. And I think Mike Vrabel is one of those guys. Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If this Titans team has not shown that he was a hell of a coach, I don't know what will. Because this team is far more talented than what the fuck he had the last couple of years, and they were competing in most games. The Titans are awful this year, and that shows coaching was in place that made this team more competitive than what they've shown. So if you give him a team with a little more talent, possibly a better quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, I'm still on the fence about Trevor. Joe Burrow for sure if you go to Cincinnati. But I think Mike Vrabel will show that he's a coach in this league and he should have never lost his job.
He can go to Baltimore.
He could do that too. But at the end of the day, I think Mike Vrabel, I think he's gonna find his way in one of those situations because I think it's a damn crime, if I'm being honest, that he doesn't have a head coaching job. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't see there being a bunch of exchanges for head coaches. I see a lot of guys that haven't gotten the opportunity getting one. Now that you say that, bro. But Mike Vrabel will have a job going in the next season. For sure.
Well, we're good, Trey. What's up, my boy? So let's get off into the last topic of the night, and it's gonna be a would you rather. We got an all-time edition, man. Got my boy Antonio Brown. So we're gonna name a couple guys and say who would you rather between Antonio Brown and them. So first name on the board, man. I'm gonna go with a guy that he was competing with for years for best receiver in the league, Julio Jones. Who y'all got?
AB.
I got Antonio Brown, man.
I'm going Julio.
Oh, he's crazy as hell.
Yeah, I gotta go Julio, bro.
I gotta go with a guy that's putting that ball in the end zone, man.
And which is crazy, bro. That's why I was gonna say I'm an edge Julio, which is crazy because Julio would have 1,600 yards, bro, and 4 touchdowns. Like that shit don't make sense to me, dog. I literally watched them get in the red zone and pull him out of schemes and packages, dog. Like that, I never understood that. To this day, nobody from that organization could explain.
Right. I got AB, man. I think AB was slightly better. So next name we got though. Remember, this is all time, so we're gonna name some guys. Marvin Harrison.
Ooh,
AB.
ooh,
That's tough, bro.
that's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
Ooh.
Okay, in fairness, bro, while LG think, bro, I'm gonna go AB mostly because it's recent. You know what I'm saying? Marvin Harrison was nasty, though, but
Yeah, he was.
but like you say, I think because AB still fresh on our minds type shit. Yeah, I'm gonna go AB too.
Where you got,
AB
man?
gets the slight edge, bro.
Yeah,
Slight edge.
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I think it's AB. I don't even think it's close. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Oh,
Appreciate you, bro. I didn't think it was
I don't
close
think
either.
it's close.
Yeah.
I just think AB was the way superior deep threat. I think that's the separator. Marvin, don't get me wrong. The route running, the hands,
I think it's really close, bro.
phenomenal.
I do
But
too.
when you're a deep threat with all of that, plus what Marvin Harrison could do, yeah, I think you're just a better receiver, bro. I don't think it's too much to think about.
I give you
Next name up, I got Andre Johnson.
AB.
Come on, bro.
that. You know how
Why
I
you
am with
doing
the
this? Why
physical
you doing
receiver.
this to me, bro?
I'm going Andre, dog.
Why you doing this to me, bro?
Hey man, listen, it's all time, bro. It's all time.
That's not as close as Marvin Harrison.
It's not, but it's just, I'm going AB, but god damn it, man. Andre Johnson, my guy, Miami Hurricanes legend, bro.
Yeah, all that.
I'm
all
going
that.
AB though. I'm going AB. Way better
Mhm.
route runner. Just touchdown machine, man. Antonio Brown's that fucking guy.
He's
Why
going
he
to
had to
touch
be
paint.
crazy?
Stiz, you said you got Andre Johnson.
Yeah, bro. You know I'm going with the more physical guy, bro. I don't have to have an accurate quarterback with those type of receivers on the field. They're 50-50 ball guys for a reason. Throw the bitch up.
So is AB.
Nah, hell no.
As
Hell
a
no.
little nigga, he
Huh?
was, bro.
Not
I seen
not
him jump
not
over
not
three niggas
not
for a pass.
not
What are
as
you talking about?
not as much as Andre.
I mean, not as much as him, but he still did it.
He
I
did.
mean, he
He
was
did.
But
getting
he
up
was way
there.
more explosive, way
He
better
did.
route runner. If you
He
want to argue
did.
Andre Johnson got hands, that's cool. But AB did not drop passes.
The
But
thing,
what
the
I'm
thing with
saying is like
the
AB.
separator is Andre Johnson. Literally, he never had a good quarterback, bro.
That is
And
true.
he's Hall of Famer.
I agree. I agree.
Best quarterback was Matt Shaw.
Matt Schaub, yep. Matt Schaub, and don't forget he had he had David Carr throwing the ball to him a couple times.
That's why I say, bro, I'm gonna go with the more physical receiver, the 50-50 ball guys, bro, because more than likely they didn't have the best quarterbacks, but they still put them numbers up, dog.
That's right.
I got honestly, man, this one was a toss up for me, man. Cause I'm a huge The Natural guy, man. I love Andre Johnson, bro, but I gotta edge AB slightly. I gotta give him that slight edge. This next name gonna be interesting though. Let me test y'all football knowledge a little bit.
You
Dwayne
better not
Bowe.
say TA. Oh,
Huh?
AB by a mile, bro.
I didn't hear what
AB
you
by
said.
Dwayne Bowe.
AB by the length
Respect.
of Earth to Pluto, bro.
I just wanted to show Dwayne Bowe some love, man. He from the crib, man. Gotta show
Oh my
love
God.
to the crib.
Hey, he had like a little 3-year stint, bro. But you know what I'm saying?
Mr. Lean Sipper himself. Dude, fun fact, Dwayne Bowe was a part of that Chiefs team that did not catch a single touchdown that year. I'm just
That's
throwing
correct.
that out there, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
you're
crazy.
right. You're absolutely right.
That's nasty work.
So some
That's a
love.
fact.
Man.
That's the nastiest work. Like,
Wait. So no receiver caught a
No,
touchdown?
they did not catch a
No
single
receiver caught a touchdown that year.
touchdown. No
Yeah.
receiver
No,
on the
not a
Kansas City Chiefs.
back, not a tight end, nobody.
No,
They
no.
did.
The
The
tight ends
receivers
and running
did.
backs did. No receiver did. I
No
remember
receiver. My
that
bad.
year.
It cut out. I got you.
But it's We got two more names. These gonna be the real interesting ones here. Steve Smith.
Ooh.
I
That's
like AB.
yeah.
I like AB. I like AB.
This is gonna be my first time going against AB, man. I'm going Steve Smith.
What you
I'm going
got, Steve?
Steve Smith.
It may be some bias, bro, but I gotta go Steve, dog. Yeah, I gotta go Steve. About the same size. I would say route running, explosiveness, right there at each other. But I'm gonna say that Steve, like I say, that more physical guy type shit. I'm gonna go Steve. You know what? I'll do this. Fuck it. Let's say that they're the same across the board. I'm gonna go Steve because of the energy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like what he was gonna bring, the talking shit, the beating the DB up the field. You know what I'm saying? Getting the first down, he didn't have no little signature or whatnot, but he was gonna talk to you all the way back to the huddle just to get the ball the next play and be in the end zone type shit. So I'll say edge Steve Smith because of the energy, bro.
Okay. I think this one close too. I edge Steve Smith slightly, but I think that's damn close. That's damn
Thanks.
close. I'm not mad either way. This last name, Calvin Johnson.
Calvin, bro, stop.
Calvin, bro. Come on. Let's be real, bro.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Calvin Johnson.
Megatron, bro.
He
Let's
might
be
be-
real.
He might be the best physical specimen we've ever seen play the sport, bro.
I think I already know. I said this before. I think Calvin the best to do it. Period. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Best receiving career or best to play the
The
position?
best. No, not career. I think he's the best receiver the game has ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with this shit.
I don't think so.
Who?
You said you don't
I don't
know.
think it's Calvin. I don't think it's Calvin, bro.
Who you got?
I think I would take Randy Moss and Terrell Owens over Calvin Johnson, bro.
Yeah, you're crazy as hell.
Hey,
No, bro.
He's a,
What? Terrell Owens for sure, bro.
bro, him and T.O. are the same person, but he's way bigger.
That's a
They're
fact.
they're the
That's-
exact same receiver,
That's a fact.
but Megatron's bigger. And
Oh no, man.
And Randy
Are you
Moss
saying?
is
Wait, all
faster.
right. Are you saying T? I'm asking T. Are you saying just physical specimen or
Nah, I'm
overall body
saying
of work?
I'm saying if you had to go in through a fantasy draft for all the receivers in the history of the game, who are you taking first? I'm taking Calvin.
I get it. I understand.
Like I don't, bro. Like the separator from guys like Calvin, Randy, and T.O. The separator for me from them is that when you watch Calvin Johnson play football, bro, he played big but small at the same time. He was a great route runner. The route runner was underappreciated, to be honest. He had great footwork, good technique, and on top of that, he was the best 50-50 ball catcher we've ever seen, bro. Like we're talking about a dude who can make any toe tap catch on the field. And he's 6'6" doing it. This is not something we've ever seen, bro. And as much as I love T.O., as much as I love Randy, they phenomenal guys, phenomenal names, Hall of Famers. They some of the greatest we've ever seen do it. When you wake up out of bed, bro, you think of Calvin Johnson when you create a receiver on Madden, bro. You do.
Facts.
Like that's what you do. You
When
create
when you create anybody on Madden, you're gonna create Calvin Johnson, dog.
Like, that's what it is. Like it's that. Like I told you before, Larry. Like if it comes down to it, bro, I'm going to always, more often than not, take the physical specimen over the better, pure, quote unquote, route runner or better hands receiver, possessed receiver, whatever the case may be. I'm going to take the physical specimen 10 out of 10 times. Like that's just me. I'm gonna always take the physical specimen. But
I feel it. I can agree to that.
yeah.
But that'll be it for the show tonight, guys. Appreciate for those who tuned in, comment, show love. If you're not doing so already, be sure to like, subscribe to the channel on YouTube and Facebook. We're gonna be live every Thursday, same time, 8:30 Eastern time. Before we head out, anything y'all want to add before we head out?
I'm good, man.
All right, you, Larry.
Nah, man, I'm good, man.
You got anything, Will?
I'm good, bro.
All right, so that'll be it for tonight, guys. Appreciate y'all again for coming in, stopping by, chopping it up with me as always. I'll see y'all in the next.
Man.
For sure, man. For sure.